Chat Together, episode 38. We've got Dragon Age the Veilguard review, Indiana Jones preview, and much more on this very spooky episode of your favorite gaming podcast. Today we're joined by TJ Denzer and Bill Lavoy. That's right, we've got double guests today to play a very spooky, dare I say morbid, game in the middle of the show. But first, it's all about what we've been playing, and that's right, Dragon Age is on the menu. TJ's got first-hand experience, and he tells us all about it. After our game, it's on to story time. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is shaping up quite nicely. Alien Rogue Incursion for VR is looking quite good and quite spooky. Tetris Forever, Asif is jealous. He didn't get to preview this one. Life is Strange Double Exposure. We've got a review for that, as well as Ease X Nordics. Phasmophobia, we've got a review. The Fear Business, a review. A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead, a review. New World Eternum, also a review. On to news. Metal Slug Tactics will be on Game Pass early November. Sony shuts down Concord developer Firewalk Studios. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition hits Switch. Speaking of Switch, Yakuza Kiwami, selling quite well. Marathon director pops his head out. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete hits the App Store. EA Sports College Football 25 sells a mountain. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, selling also very well. We've got new Apple iMacs, as well as other new Apple hardware, and Oregon Trail movie from the people that brought you those iMacs, and some quick news on AMD's earning reports. Woo! Quite a show. Let's kick it off. Here we go.
Joe, did you hear the news?
Depends on what you mean.
It's podcast specific news.
Joe Rogan got Trump.
No, that's not news. That's like the sky is blue.
Okay.
No, we lost the People's Magazine Sexiest Podcast Hosts of the Year award.
No.
Yeah, the Kelsey brothers got it.
Did they send like the silver medal to us or what?
We didn't even get silver.
What?
Or bronze. Yeah, I don't know.
Collusion?
I don't know, man, but it's just like, we come in here, what is it, 38 episodes. None of us are dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what do we expect?
Yeah. That really, you got to imagine that really gave him an edge.
I would think so.
It's like affirmation from a third party.
But then you think about who we're competing with. Shaquille O'Neal. Doesn't Rich Eisen have a podcast?
Conan O'Brien.
Conan has a podcast?
I mean, even if he's not considered crazy handsome, he's certainly taller than us, and that counts for something.
Yeah.
He's only a little taller than me.
Yeah, that's true. You're pretty tall.
And how can podcast listeners tell how tall we are?
You can hear it.
Just like how high my mouth is relative to my microphone?
Yeah, there's like a proximity effect.
But I'm sitting.
No, there's a proximity effect. And I think there's a lot of algorithms that will like bump us up the charts depending on our height too.
I really do think that the solution is just the one of you needs to either win an NFL or NBA championship or start dating a globally popular pop star.
Well, I'm married, so I think it's on Asif to do that part. Yeah,
no, I have a different idea. I'm just going to record the podcast topless from now on.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything sexier.
So does that mean like right now? Like for the 38th? We'll see like an inflection point? Okay, yeah. So like on the charts, when I look at our stats, on the 38th
You'll
episode,
see a huge
like
spike
a really
in analytics. Like a few minutes into episode 38, you're going to see this like parabolic jump in our traffic, and it's all related to me not wearing a shirt. Because that's what Pat McAfee does on College Game Day. He just pops his shirt off. It works on TV, so why wouldn't it work on an audio format?
So real talk, if you went topless, like as a rule from here on out, and then like we made that our thing, and then we made like vertical videos about it, that would probably work.
Yeah.
That would probably move the needle, proverbially.
Just for a limited time, I'm also going to have my feet exposed during the podcast, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not wearing any I'm not wearing any shoes or socks right now, you guys.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to jump off.
It's a salacious podcast start. This cold open is just, I don't know.
It's more like a burning hot open. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Steaming hot open. Wow. Anyway, screw you, Kelsey's. I'm coming for you in 2025.
We got to apply to that, if there's a way to apply.
I don't think there is, man. I think People Magazine chooses you. It's kind of like the Football Hall of Fame. They just knock on your door one day and let you know you're the sexiest podcast host. of the year. It's Shack Together in America, the internet. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, your host, Asif Khan, co-ghost host John Benyamine, who is floating in the ether right now in this Discord. Maybe he'll appear.
En route, apparently.
Apparently he is. He's running through the airport trying to get to his podcast station. I don't know.
Speak of the ghost devil.
Oh my God, there he is. Never mind. He's here. You got here right during. I was just introing you, so I was saying like you were running through the airport or something. But yeah, here you are.
I am the ghost of. No, I'm getting the Christmas and the Halloween confused. My bad. Yeah, I'm here. Hey.
And fresh off of losing sexiest podcaster of the year to the Kelsey brothers, so we got to step our game up next year, John.
We really do. It's our penchant for wearing shirts. I think we have to go shirtless next year.
Dude,
funny you say that.
Dude, everyone who's listening, John was not here for the cold open, and he just said exactly what I said.
That's pretty funny.
Here, I'm already shirtless right now.
Yeah, let me just get this off. Okay, here we go.
And that's why you're the co-host. Anyway, we're also here with our producer, Joe Stasio.
Hello.
Hey, we got a full deck here. If we're playing Balatro, we would have no room for any other jokers. We have managing editor at Shack News, Bill Lavoy.
Hey.
And senior news editor, TJ Denzer.
Yar.
Welcome, guys. As you know, we bring you on here to talk about what you've been playing lately. TJ, you had a big review that went live this week, so tell us about Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
It's a great summer blockbuster movie, not so great a RPG, I would say. I've been off and on with BioWare for a while. I played Origins and Dragon Age 2, and I've played all of the Mass Effects except for Andromeda. And I liked the the remasters of the trilogy that they did. So I was kind of curious and not certain what I was in for with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It ended up being a very, 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 I would say, pretty game. The environments are great. The world is beautiful, and the locales are fun to explore. But the vibe of it is very Marvel superhero quippy. Like, the world is on fire, collapsing around these characters, and they're playing it like, well, that just happened. And to a degree, like, this was like something that other reviewers didn't mind so much, but to me it was kind of annoying. Like, it made it hard for me to connect with these characters and really care about their plights. And that ended up extending a little bit to gameplay as well. Like, the gameplay in this game, like, there's a big skill tree system. You get 3 classes, but you can specialize into like 3 more classes in each class, and they all have a lot of different abilities that you can use. You collect characters like usual that have their own abilities that you can like strengthen and specialize with. But generally speaking, the combat in this game was kind of boring to me. Like, a very formulaic sort of, I would cast my first spell, I would cast one of my companion's next spells, I would do some attacks for a little bit, just do some simple combos, dodge when I needed to, and then just wait until I needed to cast my next spell. And I guess, like, to a certain degree, that's not like outlandishly different from certain games, but it felt boring to a point where, like, I was telling Asif the other day, there was a boss fight that it was like late at night, I was pretty sleepy as was, and at a certain point in the boss fight, I just kind of dozed off and like fell asleep while still pressing like square, 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 triangle, square, 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 triangle, R1, press the spell. And like, I woke up and I was like, I had won the fight.
You gotta be kidding me. That is the most damning thing I've ever heard about a game.
Yeah. So like you've got this like high quality, very visually beautiful game with like a very high budget like set of voice acting, storylines, character designs and all that. And it just doesn't feel like there was really nothing there that like really got its hooks in me and gave it the oomph it needed to like overcome other RPG greats that we had this year. So I ended up on a 7 out of 10 for this game. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was very competent. There wasn't a bug in sight. It was just boring and off-putting for me.
Damn. That is, yeah, I remember the story, but that's just, yeah. We were talking about that. Like, there's two kinds of games that you fall asleep while playing. One, boring games. Two, games that you love so much that you become horribly sleep deprived while playing them. So, like, I asked him, I was like, were you just up really late, like, enjoying it? And you were like, no, it was just, I fell asleep. The fact that you beat the boss while asleep, though, hilarious.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
And, like, the funniest part of that is that after I woke up, I was like, I'm going to play Metaphor Fantasio for a bit. It completely was like a shot in my arm, like a drink of coffee in the middle of the night, and it just woke me up, and I was compelled, and I was into it, and I was just enjoying myself. Not a wink of sleep playing that game. It was like refreshing in comparison.
I don't know if you saw the video. It's going around social today, TJ, but there was a guy at the Sega Atlas booth at TGS performing the battle music live from Metaphor.
Yes, Greg and I saw that. I think it's got to be in one of the shorts that we recorded because we went by the Sega booth a lot.
I was like, it must be in like, maybe it's like the day 2 footage or something. But yeah, like, I was just like, that's so awesome. Mm-hmm. That song is like in my head now, though. Like, I can just say like that song, I just hear it from time to time throughout my day now.
He's like an actual monk. That guy actually is like a head monk at a local temple that they brought on to work on the soundtrack with them.
Yep. It's very cool. But yeah, anything else you want to let the folks know about the Veilguard?
No, not anything that I haven't already said. I think that a lot of people, I think this is going to be divisive for folks. If you like that summer blockbuster vibe, if you like a pretty game that plays well, I think it'll be fine. But if you're looking for a compelling story, I don't know, with varied and interesting combat, I think it'll leave you wanting.
And you said you didn't play Andromeda?
I didn't.
It sounds like, I don't know, we'll have to ask someone who's played it, but it sounds like some of the issues you're talking about they were kind of present in Andromeda too. Like the characters just didn't, I don't know, the stories just didn't land for me. And they're like, they also had some really weird bugs, like the eyes. Everyone's eyes in that game were really awkward and weird. But it sounds like they at least presentation-wise made a better game with Veilguard.
Yeah, this one was pretty bug-free for what I experienced.
That's good. They need a win over there at BioWare. They've had a couple of bad releases in a row.
Mm-hmm. And
anyway,
I think if you like BioWare, this will be enjoyable, at least on that regard, because it is very formulaic BioWare.
Did you play? You didn't play Inquisition?
I played a little bit of Inquisition. I've never finished it.
Yeah. Joe has feelings about Inquisition.
Yeah, talk about boring. This is a real shame. I have read many reviews about Veilguard, including TJ's, and I'm sad to say that I think I'm going to agree with TJ based on what I've heard. The Marvelification has to be like the number one most upsetting thing you could have said in critiquing the game. So I think I'm out. I think I'm out on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the line I had in the review was like, it's like if you had a tabletop fantasy campaign in which everybody was playing a bard and they're all trying to get their shtick in while there's apocalypse going on around them.
The irony is like that's pretty tired as it is right now. Like it's kind of almost popular to not like the Marvel quippiness at this point. But then again, this game's been in development for 10 years, so.
It's also what kind of killed Concord, right?
That's right, which we'll get to later.
Rip. John, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a little-known game, called Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
I know Bill's been playing that, too.
Yeah, Bill would smoke me. He would crush me. Because I'm okay. I'll say matchmaking is like it's funny. It's like you'll dominate one round, and then the next, and so they overestimate you. And then the next match, I just get smoked. I'm like crushed. I'll say like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm surprised at how much I liked it, or I like it. Multiplayer.
Are you playing on Xbox?
On Xbox, yeah.
Okay.
So multiplayer, just a very fun time. If you played the beta, it's more of that, different maps, obviously, and it's been like it's kind of junk foody. I think Call of Duty it scratches that kind of itch. It's like I just want to shoot a bunch of stuff and get on a leaderboard and whatever. And that's been fun. Single player, I'm not yet hooked on it. Single player always starts a little slow because it just always feels like they have to do a damn tutorial mission or two, and I'm like, oh, come on. So it's very tough to go from the speed and the fun of the multiplayer to just like, okay, let's bring it down several notches. But the reviews have been really strong on single player, so I am looking forward to kind of digging into that. I just need a few hours unabated. So as far as Call of Duty, that's been a lot of fun. The other game is probably still Katamari. Like Katamari is sort of comfort food. When I want to just fool around for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that's just been a really fun game. Balatro, I think I hit the ceiling with it. I beat it like, I think 5 decks. I beat 5 decks. And then I got to the 6th deck and I am getting nowhere with it. And I'm like, oh, I think I need a break here. So, instead of Balatro being sort of my nighttime obsession, I'm doing Katamari and lately Call of Duty. And then I saw Power Wash has like a new Halloween map, so my answer might change next week.
So, are you talking about Balatro on Switch or what?
Balatro on iPad.
Okay, so you're playing on mobile. Okay, yeah. I've been doing that too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, it's awesome. It's cool. It's great. But I think I've been looking forward to a big budget sort of like corny game, and Call of Duty is always that perennial, just ridiculous, corny, like popcorn thing, just like TJ saying about Dragon Age, which is insane to me. Like the summer blockbuster vibes coming from Dragon Age. That's funny. Whereas that makes Joe upset. It makes me intrigued. I am that type of gamer where, the quippiness that could be really annoying. But I wonder if I would like Dragon Age, which isn't a series that I gravitated to. But in the meantime, Call of Duty's been that kind of junk food game, and it's been a good year for a series that I've had experiences where after 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, it's this. Yeah, I'm good. And there's something else. I don't know if that's the general weakness of the other stuff that I've been playing, just in terms of new games, or this is just like an exceptionally good Call of Duty year. But I've been digging it.
I think Bill, like, I know you've been playing more of the single player than the multiplayer, right, in COD. Based on your impressions, it seems like it's a good year for COD too.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I think, at least for me, Treyarch tends to make the Call of Duties that I enjoy more than the other Call of Duty studios. But the single player is good. It definitely has moments where I feel like they lose their focus. And I know I've talked about this before, but like a Far Cry game kind of breaks out in the middle of the campaign for like an hour, and I was like, this is kind of okay, but I don't know why it's here. I really enjoyed the pacing and the seriousness and the cohesiveness of the original Modern Warfare campaign. It had a lot of flaws, obviously, but like just the way that it sort of paced everything, I thought was really good. And this does that to an extent. It kind of feels like a 90s spy movie. I think I referenced like Spy Game, is it called, with like Robert Redford and Brad Pitt, if anyone remembers that. It does feel a little bit like that. And I really like that. I like they definitely have that high quality campaign feel. Like it does feel a bit like a blockbuster spy movie at times, and that's really good. That being said, like I'm not so engaged with the campaign that I can't wait to get back to it. Like I can, do something completely different, and I'm not like, oh my goodness, I can't wait till I'm done work so I can dive back into the campaign. Like it's not gripping like that.
Yeah, it's a COD game.
Yeah. Well, but again, like Modern Warfare, like I was like, this is neat, but that's like what 20 years ago now. Yeah, this is fine. I think it's a good COD campaign. But I'm not entirely sure that it's the greatest thing going right now. I've had a tremendous amount, like it is a technical disaster on PC though.
Yeah.
The campaign, the multiplayer, no, but like the campaign, I have to crash it to play it. So like every single time I load into the campaign, it immediately crashes, restarts itself, and then finally loads into the campaign. And then
Video Game Donkey posted his COD video. He always posts one pretty close to launch, and it's just a highlight reel of all of the crashes and the install problems he had. He had to like delete and reinstall it like 3 times. That's why I asked you what platform, John, because it's running well on consoles, but it is not optimized well for PC. And like the whole launcher thing that they have going on, where like you buy it on Steam, but then it opens up Battle.net, which opens up a Call of Duty launcher, and then you have to launch the game from inside the launcher.
It doesn't do that.
Really?
It just launches. Yeah, it just launches.
He was. Yeah, I don't know if it was even real.
I saw the donkey thing. It seemed pretty annoying to play on PC.
I never had to sign into anything. Like I launched it from Steam, and it immediately was like, "You're signed in as Rumpo," and it just went like, yes, it crashed when I tried to launch it, but
maybe it's because he downloaded the Game Pass version or something.
I don't know, but I never had that. What I did have a hard time with is that after I redeemed the key, I was like, I can't find the game because I haven't played Call of Duty that much over the last few years, and I was completely unaware that Steam now just has a Call of Duty listing in your library.
Yeah,
and that holds all the games.
That's what I'm talking about. Is like it's not like a single executable. You launch the Call of Duty app from Steam, and then you launch the game from the app, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a lot more streamlined than it sounds like, though. Like it's
on Xbox, John, you just click on Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right, and it just launches.
You click on Call of Duty, so it is
similar.
Yeah, but the thing that was different, at least looking at Donkey's video for the PC, behavior, it's like, okay, I didn't have Call of Duty installed. You click on it, they're like, the prompt is choose what you want to install. And it was slightly different from what I remember Xbox usually doing. So it was like, just click what you want to install. So it's like the base game is 17 gigs. Then it's like you could do single player and multiplayer. And between those 3, I think I was like at maybe 100 gigs, which I was expecting 300 gigs. I think you can get to 300 if you install Warzone and you install like the old stuff. No, if you just pick and choose, but it's kind of stupid. Like, why are we picking and choosing? And the default state is like, let me install everything. Now I'm just wasting 300 gigs. I'm deleting all sorts of things.
Yeah, I preemptively uninstalled Starfield knowing that I was going to... this was going to be... It's always a tough decision. I'm like, I have to scour my library and be like, all right, who's out? It's like a dating game, somebody's got to go home.
That's my PS5 in me every time I install a game now. And it's like, well, first of all, you're gone, Madden. And then it's like,
right.
I'm like, I have Kunitsugami still installed on my PS5. I'm like, I'm going to get to this game, damn it. And I just never get to it. But like, it's there. I want to play it. That's a deep cut from like 8 months ago. But I'm not interested in COD. I haven't been for a while.
It's I was lucky enough to play Delta Force a lot.
Yeah, during the alpha.
And it's ruined me for shooters, because
I think specifically for these military shooters, Bill, like you come from like the Battlefield community, and I think what was it, last year or 2 years ago? We had that BattleBit remastered game that I think kind of scratched a similar itch.
Yeah.
But yeah, Delta Force seems pretty good. And then like while that alpha was gone, you jumped into the Frostline expansion DayZ. So I think you've had a good mix of like survival shooters, extraction shooters. Occasionally, you're forced to play Destiny still.
Yeah, I'm calling, and I'm not going on a tangent, but I'm calling that like Delta Force is the next massive thing coming in the shooter genre. Like it's going to push a lot of these very high profile shooters in ways that we haven't seen in a while.
I will see that prediction and raise you Splitgate 2. I know. I might be the only person who thinks Splitgate 2 is going to be good, but I really like the first Splitgate. Cool. Joe, do you not have anything on this week's You Played Thing list?
I kind of didn't play any. I played like 5 minutes of Persona 5, and also I want to keep the podcast moving because we have a lot to cover. So Asif, what have you been playing?
Okay, so I got my first win in Balatro Mobile, literally the day after we recorded last week's podcast. So that was awesome.
Nice.
And then 2 days later, I got all the way to the last ante, and it was get like 300,000, and I just couldn't hit it.
That sucks. I had one of those. Those are heartbreaking.
Yeah, you get all the way to the end. You've been crushing it. And then the last ante is like, get 300,000. I got like 265 and I lose. I was like, that sucks. So kind of similar feeling that you have, John, where I'm like, I think I should take some time away from this game now. But it's like that, where it's like, it's similar to Vampire Survivors for me, where it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm good. But now Vampire Survivors is coming back with like a freaking Castlevania DLC this weekend. I'm like, oh yeah. Sure. So I feel like I'm going to switch back to Vampire Survivors from Balatro. But it has been this like great second screen game for like, if you have a podcast on or if you're watching sports, it's a great distraction. And it's, I think TJ, you talked about how it's like this like time vortex. It's like you open that app and then you look up and you're like, oh shit, it's been an hour.
It made flights to Japan and back go like a snap.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep on those flights, so like having Balatro was my cheat code.
Man, that sucks. Now I'm a similar way when it comes to sleeping on planes. It's not easy. But yeah, Balatro is awesome on mobile. It's great on everything. And then I've been playing more Metaphor Refantasio. I haven't progressed very far because I'm in like there's a few dungeons already, but I think I'm in the biggest dungeon I've been in yet. And I realized that like I need to like wrap it up for the day in the game so that I can like go buy more magic potions and stuff, because I'm out of magic, which becomes a huge problem in these battles. But yeah, still liking that game quite a bit. Yeah, it's good. I don't want to spoil anything or anything else, but yeah.
You encouraged me. Your enthusiasm. I went to GameStop and I grabbed the copy. It's still sealed, but I'm going to do it.
You're gonna love this game. Like this is like, I think you already played the demo, so you know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is like, if there was like a game made for Joe in this year, like in 2024, it's Metaphor. And I really think the storyline about like a power struggle and like, I don't know, it just seems fitting in an election year like the one we're having. So yeah, I'm enjoying that game quite a bit. And like I said, the music's awesome. You're going to hear that monk chanting a lot. So it may get annoying by the end of the game, but so far I dig the battle music. And then, I'm mentioning this every week. We're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think we're in the 40s. We're like halfway through our top 96 list.
Wow.
So putting together another playlist for this Friday. I got a new game on my list here. Last night, we're recording this on a Wednesday, because Halloween is a Thursday and you guys got kids and I have to report on like 50 different companies on Thursday afternoon. So yeah, we're recording this on a Wednesday. So Tuesday, I guess technically at midnight today on Wednesday, Pokemon, the trading card game Pocket came out for iOS and Android.
Okay.
I'm not a huge TCG fan. Like I don't play the card game. But I like Pokemon, the franchise. We kind of talked about this, how like, there's characters that resonate with different generations. This is going to be a problem for a certain group of people. Like if you're someone who's obsessed with collecting things, this game's going to eat your wallet like instantly. They put up like a time gate to opening Pokemon cards. So I think you can go in like every 12 hours for free. But you know how this is. Kids are going to be like, instant gratification, buy me more. I can't remember what it is. It's like tickets or something. And then you can redeem your tickets to decrease the amount of time between, like the cooldown, the forced cooldown that they give you. So yeah, it's virtual or I don't know, digital trading cards. And then, yeah, you can play against people with your decks or whatever. I think this thing's going to be a license to print money. So I'm not sure how long I'll stick with it. Because like I said, I don't like time gates in mobile games. And it's funny because like we'll get to this, I guess, later in the show. But like this game is being released and it's free to play at the same time where Nintendo is bringing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. They're taking it off the store and they're making it a paid app for what was like $9.99 for the rest of this year, and then it goes up to $20 next year. So it's just interesting. Like it does feel like the Pokemon Company has a better idea of how to make mobile games, and Dina does than Nintendo. You've seen that with Pokemon Go, even Pokemon Unite. So yeah, I'm playing TCG Pocket. I'm not sure how long I'll be playing it, but I will say like opening packs, it feels fun. It's like not a bad feeling to do that in the game. I still think there's something more magical about buying packs and like actually having a tactical card in your hand when you get that super rare Charizard or whatever. So yeah, I think you're going to be hearing about this game a lot though. So I took a look at it last night.
Yeah.
And then, this will surprise everyone. I've been playing F-Zero 99. Yeah,
what?
I know. It's crazy. So I just have I have a quick update for everyone. Last week I told you I hit 99, so now I'm like, it's level. So I'm at a level 5 with 1 star next to my name. Some of my rivals of the week, I lost to Woot, Woot.
Okay.
I lost to, and actually I beat Woot in a different race. I also lost to and beat NWO, the New World Order.
Sure.
And I beat Lucifudge, which I thought was a funny name. So the other highlight of the week is I had my best King League Grand Prix finish, you guys. I placed 6th overall. And in that, here's how it went. Mute City 3, I placed 14th out of 99. And then obviously it cuts it down to 80. Deathwind 2, I placed 10th overall. I'm getting very good at Deathwind 2, and it's not an easy track. It's got a lot of right angle turns that also feature boosts, so it's like there's this perfect path that you can drive though, and it's just funny, man, because I mastered this game when I was like, when I say this game, I mastered the SNES F-Zero when I was like 13. So it's just funny unlocking these paths that I was really good at 30 years ago. So they still apply in this game, which I think is part of the magic.
And do you still have the muzzle memory or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least I'm like unlocking it where I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you do here.
Right. That's cool.
Cause like good F-Zero, it should feel like a slalom or like you're slithering around like a snake. There's like there's like a curvy nature to how you play it well. They even called it snake method, in like guides and stuff back in the 90s. Port Town 2, I got an 8th place finish. And then like as it got closer to the end, I started placing better. So yeah, I placed 6th overall in Red Canyon 2. That's another one that's like, it's tough. There's some very difficult turns there on the last few turns on that track, and I've gotten really good at them. And then I mentioned this last time when I finally finished Firefield. Back in the day, that was my best track. It's the last track in the game on SNES, but it was my best one, like out of everything. And I placed 4th. So yeah, that led me to an overall 6th place finish for the Grand Prix. And I had a best time on Firefield of 3 minutes, 15 seconds, 0.73. So yeah, still improving, still getting personal bests and stuff. And yeah, like I said, before we started recording, like, I think I'm going to win a Grand Prix here pretty soon. I feel like I'm getting there, but it requires a lot of luck. And there's some times where just, you boost one too many times and you die 80th overall or something. Like, the margin for error, especially because I'm still ranked S8, there's not a whole lot of room for error. But yeah, that's what I've been playing, and
Nicely done.
Still my favorite game, and yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever the hell else you have planned for us today, Joe, because I'm sure we have a game coming up here.
Today we have a morbid game, very, very Halloween themed, Halloween coded game entitled Game Guillotine 2024 edition. But first, we need to take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, everyone, welcome to Game Guillotine 2024. And now that I'm saying 2024, I'm realizing I've just limited this to a once-a-year event, which I'm going to immediately regret because I think this is going to be quite nice. So what we're going to do is something not unlike you may have played in a game called Resistance or Coup or Secret Werewolf or Mafia, I think is another version of this. It's like usually a party game.
It's like Among Us.
Among Us, yes, but Among Us is a more biased version of this. This is more like the table. What we're going to do is more like the tabletop thing that spawned Among Us.
It's Mafia and Werewolf.
Yeah, Mafia. Yes.
That's fine.
So the way that will work is, and to make it video game flavored, here's what we're going to do. A council has formed, and it has brought to the table 8 video games which may be murdered. They have brought 4 sponsors to this council session. Each of you has been assigned secretly one of these 8 video games.
Mm-hmm.
You are sponsoring these games in secret because of the tense political situation of which we are all embedded in.
Politics.
You must ensure...
That Rayman MSG rally was really something.
You must ensure that the video game you're assigned survives the guillotine. And once again, you must remain sleuthy in doing so that no one assassinates you when the council ends. The proceedings are as follows. We will have a small discussion now where each of you will try and suss out where the group wants to slice the guillotine. There must be 4 slicings of these 8. Talk amongst yourselves, and when I say, we will do some voting, and each of you will have a chance to decide where you'd like those chops to go. At this point, I will give you new instructions, but let's get that far.
So how are we supposed to talk about this? Like, we're obviously not supposed to disclose our sponsor, right? How are we supposed to decide what we're going to kill?
Well, it always starts very arbitrary, just like in the tabletop game where you say, like, does anybody want to kill Chicory? Okay. Now, I will say that if you are the sponsor for Chicory, it's just an example, then you have to try your darndest to make sure no one chops Chicory, because then you're done.
But by saying what? Like, please don't chop Chicory? Or?
Hey, that's up for you. That's up to you, man.
Okay.
At the end of the game, here's the way you're going to win this game or lose this game. At the end of the game, if your game has not been guillotined, you will gain 50 points. This is the most amount of points of all the ways to earn points. So your primary objective...
I'm sorry, 50 points is the most I've ever heard on any of these games. This is unprecedented, Joe.
This is really next level. He's created a whole website for this.
Yeah.
And 50
this is where I can take the lead, commanding lead globally.
Yeah. And to Joe's credit, there's no way that we could have prepared for this. So
yes, that's correct.
No, I think there's still no way I can prepare. All right, good.
Okay, so
you're gonna want to avoid elimination.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it out here. Can I start round 1? I guess.
Go for it.
I think we should kill Dragon Age the Veilguard.
Whoa. No, hold on. Now, wait a second. No.
It's very topical based on the rest of the podcast, Asif.
It is.
Yeah, based on TJ's review, I'm like, kill it. Off with its head.
I will say 7 out of 10 is deserving. That's rough. That's a tough society that we live in, where 7 out of 10 off with their head, you know?
These are some good games.
These are some good games. Chicory, I'm kind of unfamiliar with.
Really? It seems like it would be something you would play.
It from this little like box art thing, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I will Have to stand up for Dragon Age. Now, are we trying to get... Okay, we're just trying to defend our game. That's all we're trying to do.
Well, we need to figure out which 4 of these we need to get rid of, because like 4 of them have to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Four of them have to go, and it's a group decision. But I have given each of you, the audio listeners, forgive us. There is a visual component here, but we're trying to convert to an audio medium. I have given the 4 of you, and you should be able to click and drag 4 dots.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And these aren't actionable dots, but you can drag them to where you want to save. These are the games that you want to keep.
I have to edit file.
I'm
best
moving
thing
the
about
whole
this
thing
podcast.
around.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best thing about this podcast that people can't see is watching everyone try to move a dot and just draw a box.
It's telling me I need to sign in.
Really?
Should I
Click
sign
refresh.
in?
Click refresh.
Okay.
Or hit refresh is what I meant to say.
There you go. There we go. No? Yep, there it is. It's just reloading.
No way.
It's just my name.
Okay. Well, we don't necessarily need the dots.
Oh, okay. Game Guillotine. I think I'm on the wrong.
Oh, maybe I have to use the hand.
There we go.
No, you need the
Oh,
not
no.
the hand. You need hit the V on your keyboard. Hit V on your keyboard to click and drag.
Yeah, that's not working.
Shoot. All right,
think-
fine. Tell me where to put the dots. Dang it.
Okay. Put my dot on Dragon Age.
Dragon Age means that means you want to keep it.
Oh.
No, I thought that's the choppy chop.
Okay,
No,
so
vote for who you want to save.
I thought we want to vote for who we want to choppy chop first.
okay.
I guess it's irrelevant, but you all need to be on the same page with that.
Okay, let's vote.
Go ahead.
Let's vote on who we want to chop.
I'll put my cursor on the game that I will choppy chop.
All right. Sounds like there's 2 Dragon Age votes going on.
Yeah.
I will cast a vote for Dragon Age.
Oh, okay.
I think the next one we should kill.
Well, hold on. TJ's
Oh, yeah.
left. Is it,
TJ
does
can do whatever he
making you-
wants.
Wait, we're voting on what to save or what to chop?
What to chop?
What to chop?
Get it.
They changed the
Get
rules
it,
on me.
rid of it.
We're voting on who to chop.
It's chopping it. Or do we
Yeah,
have-
I'll lend my vote to Dragon Age.
oh,
Well, that's interesting.
interesting strategy.
So next up, I think we should kill Mass Effect 2.
Whoa, great game.
Well, these are all great games.
Great game.
I don't know.
They are
I was
all
given a
valid.
free copy of Mass Effect 2 by EA, so it's got sentimental value to me, even though I've never played it.
I have never played Mass Effect 2. Whoa.
No, but they gave me a free copy of it, so
Yeah. I
in
mean,
Los Angeles, handed it to me, physically.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I'll go with I have no reason to not choppy chop Mass Effect 2. There you go. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up, fellas.
Wow.
I'm gonna go a different route.
Ooh.
These are all great games, and I don't. But I can't have loyalty here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my vote on Guilty Gear, so no one can break my heart with it later.
Wow.
Okay.
I am going to cast a chopping vote towards Balatro.
Interesting. Another weekly game, a game that comes up every week. On
I'll
the pod.
vote to kill Balatro too, because of that 300,000 round I just had. The last ante I played, I was like, come on.
I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to go with Guilty Gear just because he's a little lonely there, and that's the type of game I would probably choppy chop.
What?
I can't choppy chop games that I'm actively playing. I think.
I
can.
will add a vote
Especially
to
when they
Guilty
do
Gear.
that to me in the end. Why are we killing Guilty Gear, guys? This is stupid.
Oh,
It's one of the best
interesting.
fighting games ever.
I told you I can't have loyalties here.
Like the Highlander, there can be only one.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay, so Asif, you have one more vote. Is it?
EJ has 2.
And nothing's locked in, I'll say. This is to encourage discussion. We can move votes if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to put a vote on Chicory because of all these games.
Wow.
I like the other things I haven't voted for more than I
No.
like Chicory.
Now wait a second. I will also vote. Wait, why am I going?
Yeah.
Asif,
I-
you're
I-
next.
Anybody
Yeah, anyone can go.
Oh.
I'm really confused. What did Guilty Gear do to deserve this?
Interesting. He seems very defensive over Guilty Gear.
You felt pretty defensive over Chicory, even though you haven't played it.
You know what? I will call your bluff. 1 vote for Chicory.
I'll vote for Chicory too, then.
Oh, sorry, Bill. Let's see. We already have 1 unanimous on Dragon Age. Do we put
Dragon Age is dead?
Yeah, that died.
Not yet, but
Okay,
soon.
well, yeah.
Let me see. What does the landscape look like here?
This is very...
I am going to fly in the face of a very popular feature
we found him.
on the Shack News website, and I'm going to cast a vote for Grim Fandango.
That's
Holy gasp.
a little nutty.
How dare you?
Not a fan of that move. Not a fan of that move.
And that leaves a vote. And I've got a very interesting choice here. And I think I'm going to put my last vote on Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
that's the obvious one.
So now the negotiation begins.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. So
I
Guilty
think that's
Gear.
a lot of hate for Mass Effect. Just seems out of place.
This is all out of place. Just like TJ's favorite game is Guilty Gear. He's like, yeah, off with its head.
Yeah.
He's got like
Yeah,
700 hours in the game.
Now I'm settled, and now nobody can hurt me with it later.
Interesting.
That's cutting off your head despite your head.
But there are like a lot of these games on here are games that I like more than I like Guilty Gear, which is just to say they're all awesome games.
I will say there are probably 3 that have a special place in my heart, and so far they are safe. But that doesn't matter. It's the one that you're DM'd with, so I guess that doesn't
Correct.
matter.
Yeah.
Who wins, the heart or the brain?
So based on where these chips are right now, the 4 would be Dragon Age, Mass Effect 2, Chicory, and Guilty Gear.
Yeah, but we need the unanimous.
Based on consensus. Yeah,
So
you need to agree unanimously.
Do we unanimously axe Dragon Age?
Let me interject before you do this. Let me explain the unanimous factor.
Okay.
You might be saying to yourself, if I know my game's going to get chopped, how can I be a part of that unanimous vote? And here's how. Because the final round, each of you will have a chance to guess who's assigned to which game. So there is a play where maybe you could not get last place, get chopped, but make correct accusations.
Holy
And get some
macaroni.
points.
Okay.
That is M. Night Shyamalan-esque. Is
Yes.
it?
Kind of.
Jigsaw-esque.
Little
Yeah.
Jigsaw-esque. Very good. Halloween. See? I see, Joe.
Yep.
So when do we say let's finish round 1?
Now?
It's whatever. Yeah. You guys gotta tell me if you feel good about your votes or if you want to change them, and then we need to make a unanimous decision after that.
I am good on my votes.
Interesting.
We've unanimously gotten rid of Dragon Age, though.
That's what I'm saying. Are we?
I think we can all agree that Dragon
We've
Age-
done nothing. We've done nothing so far.
But I'm saying that's the one that we're all in consensus on. So
We're trying to finalize that.
none of us have Dragon Age as our game.
That's what I'm saying. Is it
get
finalized
rid
that
of it.
Dragon Age
Yeah.
is choppy chop?
Sure.
Yes.
If you'd like to go for that, let's add the
Yes.
X. Want to chop it?
Yes.
Kill it?
Yes.
Oh,
You have 3.
officially dead. Well, dead in 20 seconds, so I've heard. So still eyes blinking, etc.
Sure.
Isn't that how it goes?
Something
So
like that, yeah.
TJ has Rayman, John has Disco Elysium, and John has Grim Fandango, and Bill has Disco Elysium.
Well, wait. Are we guessing now?
No, I'm doing it in my head. Sorry.
Okay.
Just I'm looking at the board, and I see 2 games with no chips on them, and one with 1. And
I will counter that, and I will move my vote for Grim Fandango to Disco Elysium.
Oh,
okay.
So that means you're on Rayman Legends.
Maybe not.
Okay.
That was
fine.
Controversial. I didn't know we were changing votes now.
So
we're not finalized, right? I mean, except for the one.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Fair enough.
So
Your Dragon Age votes are locked in.
Yeah, Dragon Age is out.
He's gone. No, he's expired. Yes, he expired.
Can I just move my Balatro chip over to Mass Effect, or can I only have one chip per game?
Guys, the votes are a visual aid, so it's all good. You can do whatever you want.
Wait, who's missing from Mass Effect to make it
Bill.
the choppy chop?
I'm
Bill.
missing from Mass Effect.
Interesting. That whole canard of getting the free copy from EA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
Handed directly to me in the EA store.
I believe it, but like, is that impactful that it doesn't grab your vote? And Disco Elysium,
It was my first free game ever in this industry. How about that? That's pretty. It's like an event,
one of
right?
the great games. It's fair. It's fair. Okay. That's still you didn't play it.
No, and I think was it PlayStation 3? No, I didn't.
No,
Yes, it was PS3. Yep.
that was PS3. Wow. Holy,
It's been a
heck.
long time.
It has been a long time.
Bill is also the determinant vote on Chicory, and Asif is the determinant vote on Guilty Gear.
Interesting.
All right. I can remove my Balatro vote and go to Chicory.
Wow. We
We
have
have unanimous.
we're
Okay,
pushing Chicory towards the guillotine.
I think you would like that game, John. You should check it out.
I'm literally I am Googling it, and I will
Like,
see what
it's
platform
got-
I should.
It's an
Like, you
awesome
like-
family game.
yeah, you like
Nice.
the Ho-Hokums and stuff like that. I think you'll.
I am very corny on Ho-Hokum.
No,
one of the
I'm
greatest.
saying like those are just like safe, fun, colorful games, and Chicory
Like
is one.
lovely games. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll check
That's
it
what
out.
I'm
I'm
saying.
surprised I haven't checked it out.
Yeah, I was actually surprised too because I'm like, that's right up your alley.
Yeah,
but it's
like
probably
what if a top-down adventure was also a coloring book?
Nice. That's cool.
yeah. I think
Now
you'll dig it.
off with its head.
Yeah, now let's kill it.
This lovely game.
It's a very
right,
nice
I-
game. Now
We
send
remove
it,
the head.
shoot it into the sun.
Based on the votes I see, it looks like we have consensus. Yes.
Yes, kill Chicory.
Remove the head.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, so now it really just is Mass Effect 2 and Guilty Gear, and it's me voting for Guilty Gear and it's Bill voting for Mass Effect 2, right? Is that
That seems to be the case.
so? Like, we can't progress unless I decide to kill Guilty Gear.
No, or like we all start to
Or you
move
can make
over
a
to,
case.
like,
Make
yeah,
a
you
case
make a
for
case
Grim
for-
Fandango if you want.
Yeah, what else deserves to die here?
we're
Balatro.
going to Grim Fandango.
Clearly, Balatro deserves to die because of what it did to me this weekend.
We all have our stories of Balatro.
Exactly. That's my point. That's why I'm like, wait, you guys don't want to kill Balatro? Like,
I will say the one for me, the one game that is kind of out of place, given that Chicory is gone now. Anyway, I mean Rayman's cool. I get it, but really, like compared to Balatro, compared to the greatest fighting game ever, Guilty Gear, compared to
Not the
Disco Elysium,
greatest.
Grim Fandango. Well, one of the great ones, right?
it's I'd
to
say
me,
one of the
that's-
top three in esports right now. Yes.
Yeah, and then Rayman, one of the top 30.
It's one of the
Platformers?
best platformers on the Wii U.
Top 5.
Oh Lord,
Top 5 platformer.
top 5 platformer on the Wii U.
I
You
would
wouldn't
say
say
it's
top
anywhere.
5 platformer of all time. Really?
No, but no, I
2D?
wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I would-
3D. Like, think about like even on a Nintendo platform.
Okay,
Like,
I
I
agree
mean, I
with
know
John. We
that.
should kill Rayman instead of Guilty Gear.
Well, I'm just
If we're
saying.
just
I'm not
being
saying
honest,
anything.
like-
I'm just saying like, why are we, keep a Rayman
Yeah.
if we're talking quality? And Rayman's very high quality. I'm not. I actually like Rayman. I think they're
The
gorgeous
last
games.
good
Just-
Ubisoft game. No, I'm kidding.
So Asif
Oh.
is very hesitant to kill Guilty Gear. Interesting.
Interesting.
I like the
That's what
music. I don't know what else to tell you. I really like the music in the game. It's got a cool art style.
It was the first game he ever got for free in this industry.
No, it
so-
wasn't. First
I
game
know.
I ever got for free was Superman 64 from Nintendo Box.
Really? Hey, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It was 3 out of 10.
That's so funny.
Yeah, dude, that was.
I forget what my first game ever was. My
Probably
first system was a
Nintendo Joe?
Dreamcast. Yeah, I guess Nintendo Joe.
So,
It's probably-
Asif, what do we have to do to put you in a new car that is killing Guilty Gear?
I mean,
No, I think that's it. It's a wrap on Guilty Gear. Like,
I
that's
think
awesome.
it doesn't matter if I don't like Joe. If I don't vote for Guilty Gear, it can still die, right? Or do we have to have consensus?
It has to be consensus.
Really? Okay, so none of you guys are moving. Yeah, okay. Let's kill Guilty Gear. Like, I'm just more like, let's progress the game because this is getting dumb. We're all trying to kill Rayman Legends. Okay, RIP Guilty Gear. TJ's
So
favorite game.
I'm the only holdout on Mass Effect.
Yes, clearly that's your game.
Okay, let's move my vote to Mass Effect then. Like, there's no chance I'm going to convince people to change. So
Wow.
Yeah,
Lump.
I had no chance to convince. Like,
Oh,
the
wait.
hatred that
Wow.
people
So
have
Guilty
for
Gear.
Yeah.
I look down for 1 second. I look up, 2 more heads rolling down.
Yes.
One called Mass Effect, one called Guilty Gear. Wow.
Mhm.
That's right.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
We have proceeded
What have we done
through
here?
round 2. We have proceeded through round 2.
Okay.
The next round is called Accusations.
Okay.
We will now commence with the accusation period. Okay, Asif, you get to go first. Who belongs to who?
Do I have to pick all 4?
Well, 3.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Bill has Mass Effect 2, in my opinion. I want to say TJ has Balatro, and John has Disco Elysium.
Allow me to consult my graph.
There's a graph.
Well, it's one that you can't see.
I don't think he can tell you if you're right or wrong until everyone votes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, great. Next up is TJ.
Okay.
Yeah, TJ.
It's going to be Asif on Guilty Gear, Bill on Mass Effect 2, and John on Chicory.
Okay.
He was pretty quick to vote for Chicory, I thought.
Now Joe
We
is
will-
calculating, computing. This is why AI is needed. AI would have been done by now. This podcast would have been over 40 minutes ago.
Hey, I wouldn't even have thought of this game. It would have been
That's
like,
true.
That's true.
it would have suggested some fucking other Rayman game, and it would have been like,
AI would have tallied the results and
Rayman
decided that
DS.
Super Metroid was made in 2006.
it would have picked Mortal Kombat 1 over Guilty Gear Strive.
Next up is John.
Hughes. Asif, Guilty Gear.
Okay.
You know, I think Bill is being tricky with the Mass Effect 2 thing. I don't think I think it might be Grim Fandango. But with that said, let me go to TJ. I'm going to go TJ Rayman.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, yeah, I'll have Bill on Mass Effect 2. Let me play it safe there.
Okay, Bill, you're up.
I think everyone in here is way smarter, especially Asif. I talk to him a lot. He is very sneaky. So I don't think that he has Guilty Gear at all.
Oh,
I think
Gaming, guys.
Asif has, these are pure guesses because I think everybody here is way too tricky for it to be this simple. So I'm going to say TJ has Grim Fandango.
oof.
I'm going to say John has Rayman and Asif has Balatro. And I have no confidence in any of those.
That is an amazing game we just played. And now, to find out the results.
Yeah.
First up is Bill. Bill was all along this little sneak sponsoring Disco Elysium.
Ooh.
Well played by Bill.
Very good.
Placed his
Good
chip
job, Bill.
there, and no one considered it.
Little misdirection.
Yeah.
Next up is John. John was sponsoring Balatro.
Mm.
Wow.
You're like, of course he was.
Yeah.
TJ, of course, the sponsor of Rayman. Well done.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. And
Surprising
Asif-
nobody.
Asif, of course.
Oh,
Ah,
I was like, yeah, I was laughing when Bill's like, he's misdirecting us. I'm like, no, I just really was like fucked from the beginning.
when I heard you say that, I was like, no, it's
TJ
BS.
went against me. I was like,
You
oh,
just threw a wrench into things right from the get-go to get things chaotic.
TJ's like, Guilty Gear. I'm like, how dare you?
all right. So, how does this scoring system go? Because this
Here we
is
go.
nuts. Yeah.
Move your attention to the scoreboard. We have three
Oh.
survivals. So we're starting at 50. And now to include the accusation data. Asif said Bill had Mass Effect 2. Incorrect. TJ had Balatro. Incorrect. John had Disco Elysium. Incorrect. Unfortunately, Asif, you stand at 0 points.
God damn.
TJ.
Rough.
TJ says Bill had Mass Effect 2. That is incorrect. John had Chicory. Of course, incorrect. Asif had Guilty Gear. That is correct. So that's an additional 30 points, bringing you to 80, TJ. Next up, John said Asif had Guilty Gear. That's an additional 30. TJ had Rayman. That's an additional 30. And Bill had ME2, which is incorrect, of course, putting John at 110 points. Bill, Grim Fandango to TJ, incorrect. John had Rayman, incorrect. Asif had Balatro, incorrect, leaving John, our Game Guillotine champion,
Did it.
with his first win on Shack Together. John Benyamine, everybody.
Thank you. I really don't know what to say here, so I won't say anything. Thank you.
Impressive.
I appreciate it.
Nicely done. I prepared a second chopping block, but we do not have time for it.
Wait, the achieve a perfect round
would be
what
if you
is-
survived and you accused everyone accurately. Then I'd give you
That's
even
so
more points.
funny. That is difficult, I think, to do. And I was going to pick Bill for Grim Fandango. Also,
I was getting worried when you called me out on my Mass Effect, though.
I know. I was like, yeah, played it safe because everybody's doing Mass Effect. That was fun. That was cool.
Guys,
These
thanks for
110
playing.
points, do they like when they go into the global across Shack Together? Am I now above Donovan?
No.
Nope.
Oh God!
It doesn't work like that. This is just counts as one. It's just one win.
I thought it was 110 wins.
These
If
points are
only.
good for a free fries at McDonald's. Expires October 29th.
I can't
Oh,
believe I got shut
sorry.
out. That was brutal, guys.
It was brutal.
I'm the
That was
Cleveland
fun.
Browns. I'm the Cleveland Browns of this game.
Do you think you'll do better the second go around though? Like now that you know the rules and stuff.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think once
that-
people like target you, it's really, really, really tough.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
truly a situation where once I saw that Guilty Gear was here and it wasn't me, I was like, this isn't going to be used against me. I'm going to kill it early.
you did. You saw it. You saw through it, and I was like, how you like trying to defend a game in this game is like impossible because they're like, you're obviously that you're sponsoring this game. You know, it's like the go-to conclusion, which is smart. But yeah, that's the yeah.
Bill did it right. He defended Mass Effect 2.
Well, Bill, like folding so quickly after all that defense for Mass Effect 2, that was the tell, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought Asif, like, he's like, what am I going to do? They all hate Guilty Gear, I guess. So it was very interesting. Good game, Joe. Thank you for setting all this
Yeah.
up. This is very elaborate.
Yeah, that was nice. We will have to do it again sometime.
We will. Well,
Cool.
that's it. Let's head over to story time, eh?
That's right. Stick around. We'll be right back with story time. So stay tuned. Welcome to story time. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. We have several trademarked segments within this segment. First one being Previewza.
Mhm.
A preview palooza from your friends at Shacknooza.
Yes.
So yeah, Ozzy Mejia played Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. And this game is shaping up to be a little more sneaky than people realized, I think. A lot of the demo that Ozzy played involved kind of sneaking up on people and tripping them and bashing them in the head with whatever you could find. I think one in some of the gameplay I saw, he like got a broom and he hit someone with it. It's almost like they took the glory kill from Doom and they made it like sneaky. That's kind of how I describe it. But it seems like there's a lot of like hand-to-hand combat in this game, which makes sense. And then also, obviously, you have the whip, so there's some different locomotion. It looks like a Machine Games game. Like, it looks like those 3D Wolfenstein, the FPS games of the recent decade.
What do you mean by that?
Just, the enemies, the design, some of the level design even, but like, hand presence, like, I don't know. It's just, you can tell it's an id Tech engine, I guess.
Got it. Okay.
But obviously evolved. It looks stunning. Like, and that's kind of my point. Is like Wolfenstein was also a very graphically impressive game. The New Order, I want to say Shadow of the or is it the New Colossus? I can't remember what they called the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're. I remember the first time I played the New Order, and like you're in that first level where you crash in the plane. I was like, this is some of the best graphics I've ever seen. And I think that this game might also have some of that going on here. So yeah, it looks good. We saw a nice mix of what the story's going to look like, but also the gameplay. I'm more of like a run and gun kind of player, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about the sneakiness. But if you like sneaking around, I think this game might be good. But even if you don't, punching a bunch of Nazis sounds fun.
That's kind of what this studio's built around, huh?
It really is. It's like their go-to move. It's like, how many Nazis can you punch in a game? Which might have been like why they got this. It's like they were like, you know what, this is the right studio for this,
right?
And then Ozzy checked out a VR experience for Alien called Rogue Incursion. It's just a whole bunch of nope from me. I don't want to. I don't want to be in the Alien universe in VR ever again. It's still like one of the most visceral experiences I've ever had was playing Alien Isolation in VR. But it seems like a pretty competent VR game, and the Alien franchise is kind of seems like they're tiptoeing back into the gaming. They got this game, they have another one coming, and if you have an Alien Isolation, it's a very good game. If you have the if you're not afraid, it's a good game to play.
Yeah.
And then Will Borger, he previewed Tetris Forever. I'm super jealous that this guy got to play Tetris Forever because he's like, I'm not that big of a Tetris guy. And I'm like, I am a big Tetris guy. I love Tetris. This just seems like a celebration of the series and all of its weird stuff, but also like the best parts.
The time warp mode that they recently introduced,
yes,
looks really fun.
Yes,
it's like if you haven't seen it, Joe, like the time warp mode in this game is it's like a collection of a whole bunch of different versions of Tetris, and the time warp mode like randomly shifts between them as you play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's like they took the idea of the evolving levels and the evolving backgrounds from Tetris Effect, but they applied it to like the history of Tetris. So instead of like scene changes, you actually see like, oh, I'm in the Game Boy version now. And it sounds like they did a very good recreation of all the different versions of the game. So
yeah,
digital
that's a great
clips,
idea.
man, they're really good at these like historical collections. But then they're also great at, just making fun games. So this is a combo of both of those things. This was an instant buy for me when they announced it. So I don't need anyone to convince me otherwise. Excited for it, though. That's like day one purchase. I'll probably get a physical edition of it if I can. I love Tetris. I feel like Tetris is in a very good place right now with 99 still going and Tetris Effect being one of the best Tetris games ever shipped. And now we get Tetris Forever. But on to Reviewza from Previewza. So Reviewza is the Reviews Palooza by Shacknooza, in case you were wondering, Bill.
That's right, yep.
We already went over Dragon Age the Veilguard, why it's basically a Jerry Bruckheimer RPG. Who makes the Guardians of the Galaxy game or movies?
Shoot.
John Bixby.
You're asking the wrong folk.
Anyway, I'm just going to say it's John Bixby. I think we talked about. Oh yeah, we did talk about this game.
Sorry.
Yeah, James Gunn. Thank you. It was like I knew it was like yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's like if James Gunn made an RPG for EA. We talked about this a little with Donovan last week, Joe. Life is Strange Double Exposure.
Right.
Reviewed by Donovan. He gave it a 7 out of 10. Some of the negatives were stilted dialogue in some places and harsh performance issues. I think the cool part is it's like a parallel universe. So there's like some things that happened in the first Life is Strange that didn't happen in this game. Or vice versa. So I think people who liked the first Life is Strange, everyone I've seen in the chatty who's talking about it seemed to really dig it. Yeah, Donovan wasn't, he didn't pan it or anything, but a 7 out of 10 is not like a huge endorsement either. It's just like, it's good. It's kind of like TJ's score for Dragon Age. It's good.
Right. Yep.
How do I pronounce this? Is it Ease or Wise?
Yeah.
It's Ease.
Yep.
Ease X Nordics.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Lucas gave this a 7 out of 10. It's a fast-paced RPG. He did say that combat lacks feedback and communicates its intricacies poorly. He said ship customization and gameplay proceeds at a snail's pace, making late game payoffs lose impact. That's annoying. I don't like when progression mechanics like never really get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of cool. Like you got like this like a pirate ship, and I don't know. I'm sure it's a competent RPG for whoever wants to play it.
It's a bad time for 7 out of 10s, though. Right now,
it's a bad
so
time
much
to be releasing RPGs. I think because
sure.
it's talking about a flood, right? Like you got Dragon Age. There's still people playing Metaphor. Dragon's Dogma 2 is still out there. Final Fantasy Rebirth is still out there, and now we're getting a Monster Hunter Wilds demo. Like, I know it's not an RPG, but that's just another thing to play.
No doubt.
Lucas also reviewed Phasmophobia, and he said, "I have no pockets and I must scream," was his subheading for the review. Got an 8 out of 10. The game is especially great in virtual reality. It has this asymmetric gameplay that I think works very well with a VR headset. This has kind of been in the discourse for a while. It's been in early access for feels like 4 or 5 years, TJ.
Yeah, it was. This has been, and it's one of the few games I know of that has crossplay between standard and VR platforms.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think it might be the only one that's still in business, but there were some other ones back in the day, like that the asymmetric gameplay, like with options of like, oh, you know what it is? Keep talking and no one explodes, TJ.
Yes.
That's one that I can think of where it's like one person is in VR trying to defuse a bomb and everyone else is outside of VR just trying to help them. There was even like a physical book for that. Early VR had more of that, TJ, and I think they ran into the same thing that Wii U did, where it's like, yeah, it's charming and it's cool, but it's not fun if you don't have more people. You can't really be a single player experiencing stuff like that. But I don't know. There's definitely a place for it. Phasmophobia definitely nails that.
Mm-hmm.
The Fear Business got a review from Will. Another 7 out of 10, man. It's like older. I shouldn't say older. It's like a retro looking horror game. Which this is the time of year for that. And yeah, one of his headers was "Small Town America is hella haunted, bro."
This screenshot is terrifying, honestly.
Which one?
With the header image with the elk or whatever.
It's like that, older horror though. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm less afraid of the low poly horror games than I am like RE8 or remake. But yeah, he mentioned it nails the PS1 aesthetic. So if that's like something that tickles your retro feels, you'll dig that. The manor is genuinely creepy and well designed, interesting setup, and the camcorder is a cool gameplay mechanic. I have to agree with that. That is it's neat. But yeah, I think it's this is actually the kind of horror game I could fuck with. Some of the negatives were Goatface doesn't always follow his own rules. That can be annoying. Dying can set you back a ways if you save in a bad spot. That's very Resident Evil OG of them, right?
Yeah.
And then frustrating tank controls, another thing that sounds like RE, make navigating the environment harder than it should be. But another 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is not a bad score. It's just not like a, hey, get out there and buy this right now score either.
Right.
Timo reviewed A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead, also giving it a 7. Is this just today's episode is brought to you by the number 7?
Nice.
Did anyone get anything other than a 7 this week?
Well,
I have the opinion.
Or Life is Strange.
Life is Strange got an 8, right?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Did it?
I was going to say, and this isn't directed at Shaq because it's an
Life
anomaly.
is Strange got a 7.
Did it?
Ease Nordics got a 7.
No, Phasmophobia got an 8. Sorry.
That's it.
There you go. I'm of the opinion 7 is the safest review score in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 7, and again, I'm not directing this at us because I know differently. Like, we edit these and we talk to people. We are not afraid of giving something a 3, but a 7 is like, I guess that's like what a 7 is on the review scale.
It's
That's my
like
5.
it's not broken. It runs. It's competent. The gameplay exists. It may be fun. It may not. There's usually a story element.
Yeah, it's
But
fine. Like, that's a 7.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's a 5 for Joe for sure.
and then Donovan gave New World Eternum a 7.
There you go.
Oh man,
We have an open challenge for someone to give something a score other than a 7. I will attempt that with Call of Duty.
Phasmophobia is the one. Lucas broke the trend and gave it an 8.
Right.
Coming through.
Yeah, that was reviews. I'm trying to get through these quickly because on to Newsa, which is, in case you were wondering, it's a news palooza coined by Shaq Newsa.
Sure.
So we got news. Metal Slug Tactics is going to be on Game Pass on both Xbox and PC Game Pass.
I hope that's a 10 out of 10. Right,
We'll
guys?
see. You never know.
Never know.
Sony is shutting down Concord developer Firewalk Studios.
It's a shame.
Yep. I don't have anything else to say. I guess that's just it.
I will say they acquired them in April 2023. They didn't even last like more than, it was like a year and a few months from them buying the studio to releasing one game to shutting them down completely.
I think a lot of the acquisitions Sony made in the in response to the Call of Duty, the Activision acquisition, I think a lot of them were poor decisions, including Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing this, like, they're not good at managing. I think I shouldn't say that, because they have great Western studios like Santa Monica, right, and Insomniac. But these recent acquisitions have not gone well, and they've been poorly managed. So I don't know, maybe they've grown too big for their own company or what's going on there, but something needs to change at Sony, or else you're going to see more of this, which sucks, because, they tried to make a good game, but, Concord. Anyway, you want to hear better news? Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition, has been announced for Nintendo Switch, and it's coming out next year in March. What the hell is that, Joe? No? Nothing? Hello?
Oh,
He left.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Joe just got so offended.
He's like, how dare you talk about my Xenoblade like that? And he just packed up his bags and left.
That's the real reason you brought me on today, is you knew Joe was going to drop out and I was going to have to sub Joe.
You were going to have to talk about your favorite Nintendo Switch RPG, Xenoblade Chronicles.
I was going to say, is that not Xenoblade Chronicles? Yeah, exactly. Of course,
I have
how
to
I'm...
say, like, okay, Joe's back. You good, dude? No? Okay, I can hear you. Oh no, I'll never forget you, Craig. Anyway, yeah, dude, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is coming to Switch, Joe. You were like, when I told you this yesterday, you're like, what? That's happening?
Yeah, it's a little out of the blue. It feels like the exact timeline that we were hoping for new hardware. So, it's kind of weird.
Right? Also, like, this is one of the best looking Wii U games. So it's interesting to see it come out on Switch. I've seen some side-by-side comparisons for the graphics, and, like, it looks like a Switch game. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look next gen or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't look next
Right.
Nintendo gen.
Right.
So this might be the last Switch game. Like, it might be. Unless we're getting, like, a March 2025 release for this, it seems to imply that Switch 2 might not launch till, like, May next year. I have this feeling that if they're announcing this for March, unless this is one of those, like, it's going to come out on Switch and Switch 2, like, simultaneously kind of thing with, like, an upgraded graphical experience, like, maybe that's a future announcement for this. And this would be a good game to do that with, right?
I mean, hasn't it always been wishful thinking? Like, Nintendo never said March, right?
They said that they would reveal the system before the end of March 2025.
Oh, so that's different. Okay.
They said they would reveal it.
Reveal it. Yeah, they're not going to release it.
No.
This
And
is
a lot of
thing.
dude, there's rumors going around that they're going to announce it this week. And I'm like, there's no fucking, why would they announce a Switch 2 now? Like, they're not. And so, yeah, like, I think we're going to get the Switch 2 reveal event, John, sometime in the first quarter of next year, calendar wise, but it might not come out for a few months, right? Kind of like what they did. I think with the Switch, they showed the original reveal trailer was in like October of 2016. And then they did like a proper like on stage event in January of 2017. And then they did those hands-on events in January 2017. And then it came out 2 months later. So let's say that things are slipping to March and the reveal happens in March. That means the hardware might, ship in May is what I'm thinking. But yeah, you're right that they never said it's coming out on this day. But that doesn't stop the experts on Twitter from just saying, my uncle at Nintendo told me they're going to announce it next week. And instead you get a Xenoblade Chronicles X trailer.
I will say that
I know a lot of people who are super stoked for this game coming to Switch, though, so I'm happy for them.
This is, for whatever reason, I don't know enough about Xenoblade Chronicles X to speak heavily to it, but everyone I know that likes that series has been asking for like this one because, it's one of the few that was only on the Wii U that couldn't really be played anywhere other than the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
And also it has like a weirdly open world style compared to the rest of the series.
Yes, it does. And I think like that's why I'm like, man, this would be cool if it's one of those games that comes out simultaneously on both, or at least it's announced for the Switch 2. Like, hey, if you buy it on Switch and you buy the Switch 2, you're going to have this enhanced experience. Like, I think this would be a perfect game for that, TJ, because like the draw distance is an issue in that game. Or at least the textures are. So something like DLSS 3 applied to this game to make it look 4K would be awesome. So we're at that point now where I'm starting to piece together like what does the launch lineup of Switch 2 look like, and is this part of it? It's either the last game coming out on Switch or it's going to be that hybrid thing. But I have a feeling like a lot of these games that are coming out this year are going to have enhanced versions next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully for free.
Have you met Nintendo? Free? Free. No. It'll be part of like some subscription service.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry I even put that out in the universe, but that's what's going to happen.
That hurt to hear.
Look.
Would you rather have subscription service or would you rather have 100 different versions of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
B.
I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe the second one.
Yeah, actually 100% would rather that.
I mean, would they still sell 60 million of the 100 versions? Anyway, speaking of selling well on Switch, Yakuza Kiwami has outsold the expectations of the developer. They're very happy with it. That means more Yakuza on Switch, right?
For sure,
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then we're going to blaze through these because we got stuff to get to. Paul Tassi over there at, was it Forbes, Bill? Is that what he writes? No?
Yeah, that's correct. He writes at Forbes.
He was posting some stuff about marathons, so they counter-programmed him and came out with like an announcement of an announcement, I think. And that their store page on Steam was live. It was a very bland announcement, but they said playtests are coming in 2025. So marathon's still being made.
Yeah, 100% reaction to the fact that he had some leaked information and probably reached out for comment, and they just were like, hey, we better do something really fast.
And then I mentioned this earlier, but like Nintendo they're sunsetting Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, the mobile game, and they're re-releasing it as Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete in December, and it's going to cost $9.99 for a limited time, because if you buy it after January 31st, it's $19.99. Bold of Nintendo to do this. Yeah. Interesting in that it's a live service game that instead of killing, they're going to sell, and they're going to make it a standalone that doesn't require the internet. So
it's like when an MMO goes offline mode.
Yeah. So I guess it's good for the community. It's better than it's better than people losing their game, right? So
sure.
Maybe this is an indication of what could happen to future live service games that Nintendo makes. we talked about this when it came out. EA Sports College Football 25. It has reportedly become the best-selling U.S. football game of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. That shows you how much pent-up demand there was for college football, but it also shows you where college football is right now in the sports zeitgeist. The conferences have realigned, so now Oregon and USC and UCLA and Washington are now in the Big Ten. So you have Ohio State playing Oregon during the regular season and stuff. So it's these really big, these matchups that you would usually only see at the end of the year. They're happening every weekend now in college football. And also I think interest in sports in general are kind of at an all-time high because people are addicted to gambling in the United States.
Sure.
And boy, there are a lot of college football games that you can gamble on. So I think there's just a lot of interest around the sport, but then also as a fan of college football, the video game, we missed this. And it is good. It's not, if I reviewed it, I probably wouldn't have been as nice as Donovan was to it, but it's solid. I hope they build on it. I hope they bring it to PC. I hope they do a lot of stuff with it. But yeah, EA securing the bag. They beat their revenue numbers largely because of the football sales. And there's no evidence that they cannibalized Madden with it at all. So that's good news for them because they're similar games. They're not the same. And they did this for a long time where they sold EA Sports. They sold NCAA and Madden. And I think one would come out 6 weeks before the other. So they did this in the past. They're doing it again. They're seeing success. Speaking of seeing success, Sonic X. I heard you on the podcast intro last week, Joe. You called this Sonic Cross Shadow?
That's sometimes how that is said in other games, but it's just a guess. I don't actually.
Can we vote on this? Members of the panel, how do I say this? Is it Sonic X Shadow or is it Sonic Cross Shadow?
It's Sonic X Shadow because that's edgier and cooler.
That's what I thought. Okay. So Sonic X Shadow Generations passes 1 million units sold on the first day. How about that?
It's a lot.
That's all Shadow. Has nothing to do with Sonic. The Shadow part's really cool. So congratulations to Sega on a great launch. And that's Newsa. On to Industruza. Industry News Palooza brought to you by Shaq Newsa.
Oh, one interjection here. Reddit says that it's pronounced Sonic Kiss Shadow Generations. So settled.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad you did that Google search, which resulted in a fucking Reddit post. By the way, Reddit stock up 40% today.
Great.
Okay. That's normal, right, guys?
The most upvoted answer is Sonic Cross Shadow Generations.
And that's why Reddit sucks.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What
Sorry
subreddit was it? r/Jaboofers or what was it?
r/Sonic the Hedgehog.
Might as well have been r/Jaboofers.
Okay. We'll never know officially.
Anyway.
Until Sega says something.
This is the week where Apple releases a bunch of press releases about Mac. Are you guys excited about this week?
Kinda.
Are you getting the iMac?
No. Never an iMac. But I like that. Are you getting
the Mac Mini?
Thinking about it.
Do you like where they put the power button?
Oh, I never turn mine off. I know it's not green.
Do you know where the power button is on the Mac Mini?
The bottom back left. Yes, I know.
Is that not the dumbest place?
I mean, it's certainly dumber than putting it on the front or the top. Yes.
I will say, yeah, is that not the dumbest place? I think we should think about what would be a dumber place.
Just flat
inside
on the
of the exhaust fan.
Yeah, inside. On your iPhone,
something where you need a paper clip. It's some little hole in the front. You need a paper clip to get into.
Right.
You need an Apple TV remote, which you'll always lose.
On the same week, they announced the new Magic Mouse with a fucking USB-C port to charge it on the bottom, so you can't charge it and use it at the same time, John. This is a problem from 25 years ago that they're still doing.
Yep.
And then this shit.
I do.
People use
Magic Mouse right here.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
I use my mouse. I love a mouse.
All right.
You know what I don't use? You know what I don't use?
I forgot. Why would you use it?
Yeah, we all use a mice.
Sorry,
but
my bad.
That's Good point though, John, because you know what's not on Mac? Most games. But I hate Windows 11. I don't want to switch to Windows 11. So I'm like in the market for a Mac. And the Mac Mini, in my opinion, had been the best value for a Mac out there. And it's just like, I looked at what I maxed out a Mac Mini build last night or afternoon or whatever. It was like $4,400 and it was like 8 terabytes and 64 gigs of RAM. I could build 2 desktop PCs for that price. And I just
with 2 copies of Windows 11.
I know. So far they're 0 for 2 for me, Joe. I don't want to buy the iMac. I don't want to buy the Mac Mini. I am looking at the MacBook Pro if they put in the M4, and I also think that the Face ID thing should be added to the Mac. That improved front facing camera should be added. So that wasn't the only dumb Apple news this week. They're making a movie based on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
What the, like? I've said this a few times. Was Lemonade Stand taken? Like, what are we doing here?
Are we ideas left? I don't know.
I think there's plenty of ideas out there, man. It's just that Apple is like, what's the safest thing we could do? It's just the least.
Who's doing it? Like, that's important.
Well, if you look at the chatty thread is actually quite good here. In a world full of dysentery, one man will ford the river full of dysentery, with Jack Black as the horse, and The Rock as the Rock, and Chris Pratt as dysentery, and River Phoenix as the river. Oh, wait. and introducing Samuel L. Jackson as meat. And then one person said, I've had it with this motherfucking dysentery. Anyway, that thread, John, it just bodes well for the film, is all I'm saying. Maybe Kevin Hart's in it. Get Kevin Hart in there somehow.
Well, you know, Kevin Hart is absolutely in it.
But I don't think there's not a whole lot of info, but the script will be written by the Lucas Bros and Max Reisman, and will be directed by Will Speck and Josh Gordon. The creative team previously worked together on the family film Lyle Crocodile. Huh. Did you any of you guys catch Lyle Crocodile?
I missed that one.
The XD.
Anyway, it's also going to be a musical.
That's funny. Wait, so who are the Lucas?
I've got dysentery. I don't know. If they don't have a song about dysentery, throw this in the trash.
They will. That's a guarantee.
I don't know, man. What the fuck is Apple doing?
I've seen these guys.
you know Lyle Crocodile?
I don't know Lyle Crocodile though.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, that's a thing Apple's doing. Remember when they made the Tetris movie, you guys?
Mm-hmm. I do.
That was neat. Sergey was the real hero. Anyway, we have a little bit more industry news here. AMD results. They beat revenue expectations on inline EPS. It kind of highlights where we're at in this semiconductor cycle. If you're a company and you don't beat expectations and you don't meet revenue expectations and you don't increase your guidance, like your stock doesn't go up. So a lot of companies just don't give projections anymore. AMD still does. So I think that kind of hurt them in this quarter. And then just one data point that we wanted to break out here. Gaming revenue at AMD fell 69% in Q3 from the prior year. And they said that's largely attributable to the chips that are found inside of the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series whatever, and the Steam Deck. That APU that's used across all 3 platforms, they said there was a large amount of weakness in shipments of that. So that led to a miss. There's been a bunch of other earnings to come out in the last few days, and there will be in the next few days. So I would just recommend people go to shacknews.com and read our news articles, because we actually report facts about financial news as opposed to a lot of other places on the internet. So yeah, that'll do it. We did it. I got through those stories. Whew.
Wow. Why don't we take a break before we wrap up the show, huh?
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, we'll be right back.
Oh my God, we finally did it. We got through all those stories. Like I said, lots of earnings reports that you can read on shacknews.com. go do it. There's a lot of news over there for you. Before we go, we have some community notes, or at least one. We got some questions and comments from the Shack News community, which you can join by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty or by emailing us at bill.lavoy@shacknews.com. TJ, have you gotten any feedback emails lately?
Not this week. I'm keeping my eyes focused, making sure that
let us know, Bill, next week.
I'll keep you posted.
So we have a YouTube comment from prolific YouTube viewer and commenter Haas Mamu. He says, I believe this was regarding last week's game, Joe.
That's right.
Metacritic rescore.
Yes.
Right. He said, great game, Joe. Boo Asif with a winky emoji. So I think he was booing my victory. But yeah, that'll do it for today's show. Subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. We recorded this on a Wednesday. It'll still go live on Thursday afternoon. Thanks, guys, for joining me today here in the Shack News Extended Podcast universe, or the CPU as we call it. And yeah, if you made it this far into the podcast, you probably like what we're doing. So go to your local podcast facility and vote for Shack Together, and actually go to your actual polling stations and vote too. It's a pretty big election we have here in the United States. So that'll do it for today's show. This is where we wave at the camera even though it's not on, and we say thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including shacknews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at shacknews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.